Today we're going to do a card sort routine.
So with the sorting activity today, I divided students into partnerships, and I introduced the activity by telling them that they were going to be looking at fractions on cards and that they were going to think about the size of the fraction and whether the fraction was closer to 0, closer to 1/2, or closer to 1. And then with a sentence frame, they explained why they chose the column they put it in.
So as an example,
And something I think that might be helpful that we'll start with is to think about what closer to 0 would look like, okay? So if I drew, for example, a pizza, right? And there was no pizza left, right? That's 0, nothing, closer to 0. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Who can tell me, what would I shade for this example of closer to 1/2? What could I do? What do you think?
You can do like a line here and shade one pizza.
Okay, so you're saying a line in the middle.
Yeah.
That's what you pointed to. Okay, you see how this is 1/2?
Mm-hmm.
Now if I turn it like this, is it still 1/2?
Yes.
Okay, if I turn it like this,
Yeah.
it's still 1/2. Good. All right. And then, what's your idea for the closer to 1?
A circle and the whole thing shaded in.
The whole thing shaded in. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
This fraction, it's closer to 1 because it's like it's gonna be 1 left that is not
There
shaded.
would be more shaded?
So
Okay.
we can say it's closer to 1.
I agree with you because
So where are you going to put
it's
it?
just more higher than 8, so it's basically kind of like just that they added one more
You have
to
to
it.
think about
So it would
agreeing
be
or
like
disagreeing.
Yeah.
I think it's closer to
Okay. Let's talk about how many pieces there are altogether.
10,
Okay. And how many are we talking about?
6.
Okay. And I want you to think about if 6 are shaded in, how many aren't shaded in?
4.
Okay. I'm going to take out our fraction circles. Do you notice anything that you can say about the 6/10 using the fraction circle?
It's missing 4 more.
It's missing 4 more. And when you're thinking whether it's closer to the whole, right? Or here's a half piece, closer to a half.
It's more than half because if you put it on here,
Okay.
there 2 is left.
Okay. Right. If you put,
I agree.
you agree? Okay.
I mean, 1 is left. When I saw that card, I thought of 5, and 5 plus 5 equals 10.
Ah. So if it's 5/10 is half, then does it make sense that 6/10 would be closer to 1/2? Look,
Oh, yeah.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's only 1.
Mm-hmm. I missed that part. Did you agree or disagree?
Disagree.
And what's your thinking?
I think that's closer to 1
This
half
fraction is
because
close to 1.
it's like it needs a little bit more, and if it would be like to 1 whole, it would need like a lot more to add in. So I think it's 1/2.
So I have a question. Did you put it in closer to 1/2?
No, I did.
You did. Okay. And did you agree with her?
I disagree.
Okay. And what is your thinking?
I kind of think that is closer to 0 because, in my thinking, in my opinion, I think to like make closer to 1.5. Just add one more.
So I'm a little bit confused with. I thought you said you think it's closer to 0.
Yeah.
So you would put it here?
Mhm.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you to look at our models that we drew in the beginning and compare this with the closer to 0 and compare this also with closer to 1/2. And if you think the
I changed my thinking
tell me why.
because actually I agree because I wasn't so much sure,
Okay.
but I think to like make closer to 1/2, it like don't need to be like one more there.
So you want to move it back? I always find it advantageous to have them talking with one another about their thinking and their understanding. In my opinion, the people doing the talking are the people doing the learning. So when students have to explain their thinking and their reasoning, and as the teacher, we provide the sentence frame or the vocabulary or ask them to point to the model and use the model, that is just helping them formulate their ideas. If you look at the fractions here that are closer to 0, there are 6. Have a look at what you decided to see how it compares. So let's start with the 1/5.
No.
Okay, so in your group, you had that one as closer to 1/2.
But then we left that.
You changed it and then left it. So you were having a little trouble deciding.
Yeah.
Okay, let's use our fraction circle model here. So these are the 5ths, okay? Let's double check it with a model. Here we have 5 pieces, right? And in this fraction, we're talking about 1/5, okay? Here's the whole. We all agreed it's not close to this. Okay, so the question is it closer to this, the 1/2, or is it closer to the 0?
The 0.
You see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. How about 2/12? Did you have 2/12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All agree, okay. 1/8?
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything you notice about all the fractions over here that's kind of tells you, oh, I noticed that there's something the same about these. What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
That like that not all of them are like low numbers, not like an 8 and stuff.
Low numbers, okay. Tell me more about what you mean about low numbers.
Like they're less than the number that's on than the denominator.
Okay. Something else.
I agree with, and because there's just like low numbers in that one, like like it's a small number that just don't like too high.
Okay. Shall we look at closer to 1?
Yeah.
All right, let's look at closer to 1 and see if you notice something also.
I noticed that the 9/8, like the numerator is bigger than the denominator.
And what does that tell you when the numerator is bigger than the denominator? It tells you something, doesn't it? If this fraction, 9/8, were exactly one whole, it's not exactly one whole, What would it be?
8.
8/8. Okay. But it's 9/8.
If you minus 1/8, it would be 8/8.
Okay. So you see why this would be closer to 1?
Yes.
Okay. What are you noticing for the closer to 1 fractions? Look at the models, right? And look at these. What are you thinking? Yes.
That they're like almost the same as the 0, but they're closer to a whole.
Okay. All right. Anyone else?
No.
Okay. Let's have a look at the 1/2. Ready? Da, 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 da. Big reveal.
What? Good right. Yeah.
How'd we do?
Good.
All right. And what do you notice? When they're in a small group, in a safe setting, and they know and understand what the routine is, I think that they know to expect that they're going to be actively engaged and that there will be conversation and that their teacher is going to be listening to them. And they learn to value the process of learning so that every time when they come to intervention, if they know there's some kind of a sort or a routine that they're familiar with, that they're going to be actively engaged in the process of their learning.